Good evening to all of you and greetings of peace. Let me especially say a very warm welcome to everyone for joining us this evening. I know some of you have been coming very often, so warm welcome, but especially to those who are joining us for the first time. I've recognized many individuals who are joining us from Curacao, especially this evening. So a very warm welcome to all of you who are joining us for the first time. Today, this topic is of great interest around the world because we have noticed that many individuals who are striving to achieve their highest goal, whether it's professional, sports, individuals, and individuals from all walks of life. They've come to that understanding that to achieve their heights, to reach the height of their profession, to achieve all their goals, they have to take a different approach altogether. Today, the culture of the world is outside in. That's the culture around the globe. The majority of people are looking to fulfill what they need. They're looking outside to fulfill those needs. And many individuals from all walks of life who did achieve their objectives in life, they had a common approach. They used a method which we are going to talk about tonight. And that method is the inside out method, not the outside in method. We want people to love us. And although we know the truth is that if we don't start loving ourselves and generate love and create an attraction of love, then we will never be able to achieve permanent love. We know that. We know that we look for you to love me. We look for our job, our wealth to provide us with security and peace of mind. If I have wealth, I have peace of mind. If I have a job, I have security. Or I have a title in my job. That's my self-respect. My self-value is related to my title. But when you don't love me, and when there's a challenge at the job site, and my title and my status and my security is threatened for one reason or another, what happened to my world at that time? So we know, we have witnessed in today's world that wealth is not our security now. A job is not our security now. Even family members, the crisis that we are going through today, there's no guarantee we will be there for them or they will be there for us. So the time is asking us to use a method that will definitely guarantee you success and achieve all your objectives. And that method is looking inside and then developing, accessing that which is inside, and then share that to the world outside. Let that which already exists inside influence me, my vision, my perspective, my thoughts, my attitude, my face, my demeanor. Let it influence me so that when my vision of myself is high, that's the vision I will see the world around me and those who I interact with. So we all know homework is there, pending homework, long overdue homework is there. Today, life is presenting all forms of challenges. You can literally say there's a tsunami of issues and challenges that we are confronted with all the time. And it could be challenges that are from the outside world. It could be challenges from my country. It could be challenges from my workplace. And many times, oftentimes, it is challenges from my family. But probably the most challenges come from my own personality, my own self. Today, people recognize also that when they address and resolve one challenge, another challenge is waiting in a queue, ready to confront us. Another challenge, and yet another challenge. And the list of challenges go on. And if there is not a mechanism in place to deal with those issues and challenges, then we feel overwhelmed. We feel tired. We want to give up. There's one lady that I was talking to, and she is a single parent, a few children she has, and she has relationship issue, financial issue, you name it, she has it. And because of those issues, and she didn't have any power to deal with them, she became very angry. She became very angry and very negative. And the result is that she got cancer. And when she was confronted with cancer, she got even more angry and more negative. And she blamed the world, she blamed God, she blamed the people in her life. But she still had to deal with having these children and providing for them. So one day she realized something needs to change. So she decided, I'm going to look within now. And she started to change her attitude. She started to become more positive. And one day she came to the realization that her life-threatening illness was in fact her best friend. She realized that if she didn't go through that experience, what would have been her life today? So her whole lifestyle changed when she realized that she has to work from inside out, not the way she was working before. And so one of the things I want to tell you tonight, which I think you already know, but it's good to remind you that the human spirit has extraordinary resilience. There isn't any issue, challenge, adversity that the human spirit cannot overcome. We have that DNA, that resilience in our DNA to cope with, to deal with, and to maintain our self-respect at all times. We have it. But tonight we want to talk about why, even though we have it, what is the reason why we are not able to deal with challenges, deal with obstacles, deal with adversity. We all know already that adversity is a gift. Adversity is an opportunity. Adversity is tools. Adversity is stepping stone. We know that already. So we need to remind ourselves that examinations are provided to determine where we stand in life and where we need to work, what we need to work on. We know that you write an examination. We write examination every 3 months when we used to go to school, or midterm, but to gauge where we are in our progress, where we are in our growth, and how close we are to our destination. That's why we welcome examinations. So when life presents examinations in form of challenges and issues, we should smile, knowing that these challenges and examinations are not happening to me, they're happening for me. They've come. They've come in my life to support my growth, my success. That's why they come in my life. But in dealing with challenges and getting to our destination, there are two shadows. within the soul, two shadows that blocks the light of the soul. And one of those shadows is superiority complex, ego, arrogance, the I of ego, the I of arrogance. And what that I says, what the I of ego says, I am better. I know more. I am right. Three main things. I am right. I am better. And I know more. That's the form of the I of arrogance and the I of superiority complex. And that I comes mainly because of a false identity of the self. It's an I that is based on my status. I am so attractive and you are not so attractive. I am fair and you're so dark. I am a professor and you are just a housewife. This I that is mainly based on body consciousness. The I that is based on this human form. And that I blocks or overshadow the light of the soul. That's what this I does. And there's another shadow, and that's also another I, and it's also based on body consciousness. And that I is the I of inferiority complex. I am not good enough. They know better. They are right. And I am wrong. That's also a form of ego, because ego is false pride. Ego is an illusion. I think I am that which I am not. So whether I think I am superior more than others, or whether I think I'm inferior more than others, both are I's that are based on recognition of the self as the body. And both are shadows, and both block the light within the soul. And these two shadows overpower. And we get to a point. What point do we get at? We get a point where we are absorbed in our feeling of feeling better than others, or feeling less than others. It brings us to a state of limitation, weakness. And what happened to my self-image at that time? What happened to my self-respect at that time? So we all need to step out of that temporary I of the body. And we have to come to that understanding from dislike to self-respect. So I step out of dislike of myself based on the I of inferiority complex, and I step in to a state of self-respect. I step out of unhappiness and I step in to a state of happiness, because happiness and peace and love and all the things that I need and I want, it's there within the soul. It is not there within the color of my skin, the wealth, the car I drive, the status I have. Love, peace, purity, truth, wisdom. Those are all the things we want, and they are there. So I need to step out from that outer consciousness of the outer world and the outer body. And I need to step into that awareness of my true identity. And then I can move from a state of unhappiness to happiness, from a relationship that is based on conflict and misunderstanding and hurt to a loving relationship, because now I am in touch with my authentic, loving self. Now I'm in touch with my true self-respect. So rather than depending on others to respect me, I have developed my own respect, knowing who I am. And from a state of being a victim, stepping out from that mentality of being victim, being vulnerable, to experience inner power, because self-respect is my true power, my real power, my authentic power, self-love, self-value, self-appreciation. That's where my real permanent power lies, not any that is taken from outside. So do you think it's possible, or is it too much of an idealistic world that I'm creating? It is possible, because the human spirit has humongous possibilities. And all of those possibilities are positive. All the possibility that human beings have, they're positive. And so we need to access those possibilities. For a long time, I've been saying repeatedly, what I've been saying, that all the qualities are there within the soul. And so, what is spirituality researching? Why is spirituality researching? And what is it researching? Spirituality is researching real love. We all want real love. We are seeking real love. We want to taste authentic, unconditional, divine, spiritual love. We want that. Because all other love, we've seen how it works. Sometimes and sometimes not. And so spirituality is that journey, inner journey, to research, to discover, to develop that authentic love. And there's only two people in the world who can make me access that unconditional, that altruistic love, that love that is free of expectation. And those two people is I, the soul, and God, the supreme soul. And this is why meditation and spirituality goes hand in hand. Because it is in meditation that I connect. That's why the word yoga really means a union between you, the soul, and God, the supreme soul. That's the union that we aim to achieve in yoga, in meditation. So tonight, I want to remind you of the importance of practicing meditation, because it is in meditation that I start to observe what's going on in my mind. In prayer, we have a conversation. From the time we start to pray, we start a conversation, whether we pray silently or we pray loudly. But we engage in a conversation. So we engage our mind. And then when we finish prayer, we say amen, or we complete it, namaste or whatever, we complete our prayer. But we never allow our mind to be silent, to hear what God is responding to us. What all the suggestions, all the stuff that I've said to God in my prayer, when He wants to respond, I have closed the prayer. So I need to be quiet. I need to detach myself and just observe the kind of thoughts that comes to my mind. And then I can determine that my mind is 80% negative, 50% negative, 50% positive. Then I can determine where I am on my spiritual path. So it is in the silence that I begin to observe the conversation that is going on between my mind and intellect. And then I come to discover homework that I have to do. And then I can hear what God has to say. Then I can listen to my intuition and know what exactly I need to do. So meditation provided us with that space, that silent space, that quiet space, so that I can listen to the voice of my intuition. And I can listen to the voice of God. And so this is why meditation plays a very, very important role in my journey. Spirituality is the outside, rather the inside out approach to life. All my resources, they are already there. I know the difference between being sad and being happy. I know which is natural. I know happiness is natural. I know sadness is alien to the soul. I know peace harmonizes, refreshes, energizes, empower me. And I know anger burn me out, drain my energy. I know. So I know what is already right. And meditation gives you that power, that inner power, to put that which you know into practice. So, when we were going to school, it should be for those children who are still at school, and we who have already gone through that school, they should have taught us about who am I. They should. That was a very crucial lesson, because in that lesson lies my dignity and lies my self-respect. But we were not taught. So spirituality is that school of learning. Spirituality is that school of learning that provides me with those insights, the wisdom to know what is right and what is wrong. And having acquired that, meditation gives me the power to access that which I have within myself. So I would like to appeal to all of you who haven't done meditation yet to start a course, a session on meditation, only so that you can begin your journey of finding your true self. And when I'm in meditation, then I can share that energy in my relationship rather than waiting for my relationship to give me respect, love, appreciation. I can share. I can create an atmosphere. I can influence not just the atmosphere in my home, in my environment, but wherever I go. Or even I sit in one place, I can send energy of peace to the world. So much potential is there when I learned to meditate. Meditation makes my mind positive. Sorry. It influences my mental health, my emotional health, and also my physical health. At all levels, meditation empowers, energizes. Healthy mind brings a healthy body. So when I recognize that I need to go inside, then the outer influence will not be so powerful in my life. And why? Because I'm busy doing my inner homework. I'm so engaged in my own inner world that I have no space to allow anything from outside to influence me. My own journey is one that, regardless of what's happening outside, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's a change of the economic situation in the world, whether it's a health challenge, regardless, I just need to keep maintaining my positive energy. That's my major concern. I need to protect my own self at all times, making sure that my energy is tipped up and no one, nothing, no circumstances, no situation that is outside can influence us. Today in relationship, when we communicate with each other, I don't know if you are aware that there are three major forms of communication. And one that we engage with a lot is verbal. We speak to each other. But beyond that verbal communication, from our demeanor, from our face, we are communicating. And a third method is our feelings and our vibration. And 80 to 90% of all communication, 80 or 90% of all our communication impacts tremendously by our feelings and our facial expression. These two tells the real me. And after a while, people begin to trust my feelings. They begin to trust my feelings. They don't trust my words. Because my word is saying one thing, words are saying one thing, but my facial expression and my vibration is telling them another story. And because of that, sometimes I ask myself, or we get to a point, why are people avoiding me? Why they are not happy with me? Why I don't feel belong? Why I feel left out, separated? Only because people are picking up our vibrations and our feelings, and they are reacting or responding to that. And so how important it is to have pure and positive vibration and feeling. And they can only come when my thoughts are positive. And thoughts can only become positive continuously. I can continue to create positive thoughts if I work from inside out, not outside in. So that approach, the time is asking us to work from inside out because everything else is changing rapidly, suddenly, and we are not prepared for those changes. And so we cannot be at the mercy of the waves. You know, if the boat, a boat is in the water, it's okay. The boat will be at the mercy of the waves. When the waves are smooth, the boat gets a smooth ride. When the waves are rough, the boat gets a rough ride. But when the water gets into the boat, it's another story altogether. And when we allow the world, out the world, to get in our mind, it's a very dangerous situation. But our mind can embrace the world, but we cannot allow the world to enter our mind. If the world enter our mind, there will be chaos. So this is why we have a situation the way we are having it today. We allow everything. Sometimes when people love us, show us a little love, we are like a vacuum cleaner. When they show us a little love, we accept. We express back love. And when they show a little cooperation, we feel very connected, very close to them. We accept that too. We accept love from people. We accept cooperation from people. And when they show disrespect and they refuse to cooperate, we accept that too. So one makes us happy, one makes us sad. And that is because we allow that which is outside to influence us. But we have not developed our own inner power because we have not spent a lot of time looking from the inside out. So now the world is asking us that in order to go beyond the influence of the atmosphere, we have to do this work. I was listening a while ago to somebody we all know, Oprah, and they was telling about her background. When she was very small, her grandmother took care of her. And grandmother could not afford clothes for her. So the grandmother used to take potato bag. Long ago, used to buy a big bag of potato and take the potato bag and sew dress for Oprah. And she had to go to school wearing those dresses. We all know she was abused. We all know she was put for adoption in the adoption home. And one day her grandma was hanging out clothes on the line. And the grandma said to Oprah, "You better look at what I'm doing. You have to learn to hang clothes well. Because one day I will like you to be that very good maid at a home of well-to-do people. So you have to know how to hang clothes well. You have to know how to become a proper maid." And Oprah thought in her mind, though she was not able to express that, she said, "I don't see myself as a very good maid." Today, 56 million people listen to her on a regular basis. 56, 50, 60. She is one of the most wealthiest women of color. Woman of color. One day they were saying she went to France or Paris, somewhere she went. And she went into a store and she saw these very, very expensive handbags. And she asked one of the helper in the store. She wanted to find out more detail about the bag. And they looked at her and they thought, "Don't waste time with this customer. She can't buy these bags." It was later on they came to know that was Oprah. And so imagine somebody wearing, would you like to see yourself wearing clothes, dress made out of potato bag? And today, and she's the one who promotes, advocate, encourage in all her program to live from inside out. We can list a number of people. I was listening to Steve Harvey the other day, and he was saying for 3 years he slept in a car, homeless. The guy in India who's the most famous actor, Shah Rukh Khan, well known, highest paid actor. He slept on the corner of the road. He had no money to go home, no food. He was homeless. So all the people that we see today, we hear, I don't want to go on and list all of them, but I've just decided to mention one or two. President Obama, that the world loved so much. His father was, he hardly had spent time with his father. One moment he lived here, one moment he lived in Hawaii, one moment he lived in Indonesia. He moved from one country to another, a country to another, with his single parent, his mother. And then he had to accommodate his stepfather, stepsister. This is the guy who didn't have a father figure around him, who moved from country after country after country. If you look at his background, you listen to his story, and he became the president of the free world, as they call. And not just that, even after he left the presidency, so many people, they just love this guy. They keep saying, we miss you. He left a legacy, even though he's still alive. He's left such a legacy, such an impact to our world, such a gift he gave humanity. But think about his struggle as a child. He was, I wouldn't tell you all the stories, but so many challenges he had, and his mother had. And he watched his mother going through that challenge. And nobody would have dreamed, not his grandparents, not his mother, not his sister, not his friend in Indonesia, not his father in Kenya, wherever. Nobody would have ever dreamt. So when you work from inside out, and I say that because when you look at his personality, the way he conducts himself, you know this is a guy who has done homework. When we look at Oprah, we know she has done homework. When we look at Mother Teresa, we know she has done inner work. And so we all have to do that homework, working from inside out. When we work from outside in, we are blocking the light within the soul. And we are bringing in that world from outside with all its problem, with all its conflict. We are bringing that world in the sacred space of our mind. And we are making our mind unhealthy. So it's not the time to do that. One other idea I wanted to share with you before I close, and that is that we all want to experience true love. We give love to so many family members, everyone that is close to us, we give them our love. We give them everything that we have. We share. We share everything. But the only thing we don't recognize is that one day, whether through death, whether through time, whether through circumstances, the object of our love will not be there one day. The object of our love, the one we give love to, the ones we give love to, one day they will not be there. And what's going to happen? So the soul already have love, and the soul has a connection with the one who's the ocean of love, whose love is unconditional, whose love is a guarantee, whose love is constant, stable, authentic. And if we can connect with that one, we can call that one God, we can call that one a higher consciousness, we can call that one Jehovah, we can call that one Allah. It doesn't matter. But we need to have that connection and draw that divine love from the one who has no expectation, whose love is not just merciful, but his love restores back our self-respect. This is something that I have witnessed. I have experienced myself. Before I came to this organization, I thought I was a light-hearted, jovial, happy-go-lucky soul. And I thought I had love, and I thought the people around me loved me. But it is only when I develop a relationship with God, that's when I found that my self-respect has been enhanced. My self-respect has been stable. My self-respect is not threatened when I experience God's love, not before. Before, many times I questioned my self-respect, but not when I tasted and experienced God's love. Because God's love protects me. God's love is a canopy. It is my backbone, my main support. God's love is unconditional, and God's love is eternal, imperishable. And so tonight, I want to remind you that your search, your desire to experience a love that is permanent can be achieved. All I need to do is turn my mind upward, stepping upward, and connect with that one who is always going to be there. That one is unchanging. That one is constant. And that one is pure. So I want to thank all of you. We are getting to 8:42. About time for me to say thank you to all of you. And I'm very happy that you've all been able to join us tonight. We look forward to you joining us next week again on another important topic of interest, because our goal now, we have one goal, and that is we have to empower ourselves. And when we are empowered, the outside influence has less impact. And when we are not empowered, then we become vulnerable to outside influence. So, thank you for joining. Sorry. Thank you for joining us this evening, and have a good night. Om Shanti.